Hey guys, going on? Mike the Caveman Q here again, Paleo Problem Island, MikeTheCaveman.com. Got another edition of Monday Nights with Mike, live stream Q&A. Ask me anything, health related. And changing things up a little bit, I am on a self-imposed hiatus right now. So we are down from Facebook right now, myself. However, we are live here on YouTube, so first time using it, a little bit of hiccup in terms of actually being able to record. And so let's see, we got two people who joined. You can comment who it is. Three, got a couple people coming in. So yeah, you know the deal. Ask the questions. Sean, you made it. Yes, as I said before, I am on a self-imposed hiatus on Facebook, so I am available on Messenger if you need me. However, for the live stream right now, we're testing out here on YouTube directly. So yeah, that's the deal. This is my first time using Facebook, using YouTube's live stream. So hold on. Show live chat messages. Okay, good. Let's see. Awesome. Okay, I just got a message on Facebook. Maddie said that it's unavailable. Really? People are on. All right. So anyway, we'll see how people make it in. So Sean, I know you made it, so you can start asking me questions. I do see them pop up. What's the topic for today? You tell me what the questions. I actually do have a list of questions that I'm ready to start talking on until I start getting more comments down below. So we'll open up then. I know Maddie had a question regarding using flax as a replacement for eggs. And that's a very common thing you'll see in the vegan scene. And essentially, the idea is the flax will help to bind things together in terms of... Hey, Rich, what's up, brother? So flax will help bind things together in terms of alternatives to eggs. So if you have, if you're avoiding them because you are trying to go a plant-based vegan diet, or if you're trying to go and you have an egg allergy, that's another common one too. And I know that's why Maddie went and asked too. So essentially, the idea is you have that. Now, is it going to be as good as eggs? No. Flax, unfortunately, is not as nutritious overall as eggs are. That being said, what you're talking about when we're talking about those flax replacements, if you have an egg allergy, then yeah, you're definitely going to want to go and do what you can. So flax is not terrible. It's a decent source of omega-3s, and it's also going to go and provide you, plant-based omega-3s. So the conversion rate isn't ideal, but it'll give you not too bad. In terms of proteins, again, for a plant-based source, not terrible. So hold on. I saw that you had a question there about stevia popped up. Like I said, it's my first time using the YouTube live stream, so I'm not 100%. If you could put that question back in, that would be great. And then, hold on. Let me see. Nice, I'm on it, eating, blending foods. Okay, cool. So, put user in timeout, block. This is a little bit square. Okay, it actually saved it. Cool. So, cool. I can go to my live stream here. Saved it. Cool. Sorry, guys. Like I said, it's my first time actually using this, so here we go. So, Sean, now that I figured out how to look at these old comments on my phone, I'm going to come back to yours in a second. So, ACT Fitness Media S. What do you think about... Had to update here. Awesome, Jody. What's up? So, what do you think about stevia as a sweetener? Is it safe, or should we still be suspicious? It's a great question. In terms of stevia, I'm actually very pro for most people. One of the biggest problems I see are people who have ragweed allergies, in the sense that if you are allergic to that family, more often than not, you're going to have problems with stevia. The next one I see is that people who traditional actual stevia extracts are going to be more bitter overall, just because of some of the glycosides are going to be bitter. That's unfortunately the nature of the beast. But in terms of whether we should be suspicious of it or not, I'm pretty happy about what its results are. There's some interesting literature on its ability to actually go and improve insulin sensitivity. So whereas regular sugar is going to cause insulin spikes, and actually sugar alcohols and artificial sweeteners, so sugar alcohols would be the xylitols, the erythrols, maltols, they have a mild, a little bit of spike, and things like things like actual artificial sweeteners, so aspartame, sucralose, I can never pronounce that one, asulfame potassium, ACE K. Those will actually go and those can cause insulin spike, but they can also go and disrupt your gut bacteria. Stevia, on the other hand, actually seems to improve insulin sensitivity and is generally a beneficial thing. So, big fan of stevia overall. If you have to go with something that is not a sugar, so if you don't go with honey or maple syrup or something like that, good idea. Okay, so Sean, egg. So Richie sends a picture of an egg. I like it. A little chick popping out of an egg. So Shauna says, "Nice. I'm on an eating blended foods only diet. In other words, eating whole food. Besides eating whole boiled eggs, I'm throwing in a blender. Everything I eat, first and foremost, is mostly raw vegetables. Pros and cons. Great question. So, obviously, vegetables in and of themselves, amazingly nutrient dense. Good idea. The problem comes in on certain types of green vegetables, provided on what kind of conditions you have going on. What I mean by that is that if you have a thyroid condition, which I believe we've talked about, I know all the enemas issues you have going on, but in terms of thyroid, if you have a thyroid issue, which I believe you do, the problem is that they have partial goitrogens. So they have goitrogenic activity, meaning that they can be a problem of hypothyroid. So by lightly steaming and or cooking them first, it's going to be better overall. Some of the other issues we can look at are the content of, blanked out for a second, phytic acid and oxalic acid, and what those are basically going to do. When you have those two, those can actually bind up your minerals, so it can lead to some loss of mineral bioavailability or ability to absorb it. So overall, though, if you're eating blended up vegetables, you're going to be better off than somebody's eating Cheetos. I would recommend just lightly steam them first and then throw them in the blender. That's going to do two things. One, it's going to make it so that it blends a little easier. And then you can even add like a little bit of green tea to that. So now they're a little bit hot. You add some green tea to that. You just turn it into a tea, Maybe add a little bit of honey to that. Maybe a little bit of some cinnamon. Add some other spices if you're feeling a little frisky, whether it be like turmeric or something. So you can mix it up a little bit. Yeah. So ACT Fitness, thanks for the update. Thanks for answering the question. No problem, bro. Okay. So Jody says she had to update. So that's where the update came from. Jody said she had to update. She's here. Awesome. Glad to hear it. All right. So I'll wait for you guys to put some more questions down below. While you're doing that, I will go on to some of the other ones I had saved up. We have Jody's question. I don't know. It's not nice that I'm calling you out for this question, but asking about urotherapy or urophagia. So urophagia would refer to the consumption of, and therapy would be the therapeutic applications thereof of urine consumption. Yeah, I know. I thought about after I said it, I'm like, it probably wasn't nice to call you out on name basis on that one, but say la vie. So essentially, there are a lot of cultures that have recommended that for a very long time. There are professional athletes who are currently doing that. So Lyoto Machida and who's the other one? MMA. Luke Cuomo, Long Island boy. Good old Long Island boy. Luke Cuomo is a MMA fighter who I don't believe is active anymore. Maybe Rich can confirm that one for me as another Long Island-based MMA fighter. Either way, the two of them are known for consuming their own urine. Juan Manuel Marquez, who is a legend in the boxing scene, another one who's been famous for consuming his own urine. Madonna puts it onto her skin, as do a number of other celebrities. So there are people doing it. Is it a good idea? So interestingly, I actually came across this idea years and years and years ago. I was a kid when I first heard about it, and I was like, And my dad, having been in the alternative medicine scene, had come across, and we were also in the book business, which is a whole separate story for another time if you guys are interested, but you're not, I know. So essentially, we've had a number of different books that we had access to. I have thousands and thousands and thousands of books in my personal library, and we sell a whole bunch. So there was a titled book that was titled, grammar, and it was titled Urine for a Big Surprise. And the idea on it was that, urine therapy, good thing. I never actually got around to reading it. I wonder why. But the long and the short of it is the it's a little on the squirrely end is that because it's already been processed through your system, it's sterile, and it may have some antigens that are in it. So basically, when your immune system goes and processes it, it kills it, and now it's going out through your urine. It's the dead version, so your body produces the antigens as a defense to that. So now you go and consume it, and the antigens come back in, and so now your body's already prepared to those particular toxins, and I don't know. As it stands right now, the literature that's on it to date is not very convincing. That comes with the caveat, though. If you were stranded on a desert island, or you were like, his name is escaping me right now, but the guy from 127 Hours, the one who had to cut his own arm off because he was locked in he was, trapped between rocks in the mountains. Yeah. If you were in that situation, drink your damn urine. If you're going to die of dehydration, drink it. Now, there are those who go and will argue that it's the sodium content. Well, James Franco was the actor. I know that. I was talking more along the lines of who the actual named person was. I appreciate that throwing that in, though. But yes, the actual person who did it in real life. So, good movie, though. But an amazing, incredible story. But if you're in that situation, there are people who say that there's too much sodium in your urine. Now, the thing about that is that your sodium content is relational to the amount of sodium you're taking in. In fact, when they're looking to see dietary sodium and your retention levels, what they do is they measure urinary excretion. So they tell, oh, you're eating too much salt based on how much salt you're excreting, basically how much you're peeing out. Because if you are consuming more salt, your body's generally going to pee more out. If you're consuming less, you're generally going to hold on to it. Now, there are kidney issues and a whole range of other squirrely neighborhoods that will change that up a little bit. Your potassium intake will change that up a little bit. Your carbohydrate intake will change that up a little bit. So there's other factors, of course. But generally speaking, if you are trapped on a desert island or you're trapped between a rock, what's going to happen is you're not going to be taking in any more sodium. So if you were to re-drink that urine, and if you're joining late, yes, this is a fun part of the conversation. If you were to re-drink that urine, you're not going to die. It's not as salinous as, I think I mentioned made that word up. It's not as salty as, let's say, seawater. Salinity is the actual thing. So salinous kind of makes sense. It made sense in my head when I was saying it. Whatever. It's not as salty as seawater, so that don't drink no matter what, unless you go and purify it, you distill it. But if we're talking about that urine, it's not going to have as much salt, particularly after a couple of days. So, yeah. No thanks. I don't think that my body will miss the amazing benefits of my own urine consumption. Come on, man. That's to save the day. That's how you're going to live forever. Just keep drinking your own urine. You never have to drink anything else again. You'll be fine. Don't do that. All right. So, now that we talked enough about urine therapy, I think that's enough of that one for now. Let's move on. Again, at any point, throw some more questions in down below. But we have a question on Millet. Oh, actually, wait. No, rewind. I did come across, while I was looking into it a little more and seeing some literature, I did come across an interesting study that the whole idea of urine being sterile is a myth. And when they talked about that, what they were saying is that came back from the 50s. And there was a guy who was studying and saw that when they were doing preoperative and they were going into the bladder, essentially that it wasn't, that it was sterile. But then we've come to find that, think about urinary tract infections. There's a reason why. Your urinary tract has a microbiome of its own, similar to your gut, similar to your reproductive organs, similar to, which, males obviously the same place, but you know what I'm trying to say. Similar to your mammary glands, similar to your lungs, which I don't know if I said that, but whatever. So your respiratory system, they all have the same kind of thing going on. So I'm going to put a link to the study right here. And in it, what's interesting there is that they were talking about, they investigated in, what was it, Nigeria? Or there was a sub-Saharan African country, I believe. It was Pan-African Health. Actually, I clicked on it myself to let you know. What the hell? Where was it? Where did they do this? I don't know. They did it in, an African country. Come on now. Tell me it's going to tell me. Whatever. Doesn't really matter. So they were examining children, and they were apparently it's a pretty common practice over there. And what they did was they actually went and checked to see what the microbial content was, and what they found was that there was more antibiotic resistant strains in that urine. So that over abuse of antibiotics, which we see literally around the world, and it's creating superbugs, they found those antibiotic resistant strains in that urine. So essentially, not a good thing. So don't go drinking your urine, particularly if you had antibiotics recently. I'm going to see if Maddie made her way on yet. Hold on, I'm going to message her back. It's kind of along the lines, just coffee enemas take a certain level of bravery. I follow a group on Facebook that now swears by. Funny enough, I actually do already have a video on coffee enemas. And, okay, so let's, I'll put the link to that down below. What's interesting about the coffee enema thing, okay? So, there's two thoughts on it. There's caffeol and califediol, I think. But caffeol is definitely one of them, or kaweol. Caffeol is one, then kawe, I think, is the other. You probably have a better idea because you looked into it more recently. But whatever, those are the compounds that are in it. And so, with that, what we're looking at is a way to bypass the stomach. So you don't have to worry about it going through the system and losing some of the benefits. It's going basically right through so that you can detox. And those compounds do have definitive benefit in terms of ability to increase detoxification pathways. Now, it shows the same benefit by drinking it. Now, my general thoughts on why the research has shown that so far to date, it has to do with the clinical research process. And essentially, in order to get to the point where you're testing unhealthy people, what you have to do is you first have to make it through in order to get to unhealthy, sick people, you have to first make it through healthy people. Now, the problem with that is I really don't know too many people that are going and doing coffee enemas that are healthy, that don't have severe, whether it be cancer, whether it be just general hormonal issues, whether it be detoxification pathway issues. Most people, or Lyme is a common one, so all the chronic inflammatory response syndrome issues. Unless you have those issues, you're probably not doing coffee enemas. So the fact of the matter is, you're not going to see as much of that benefit there because you're not doing it. Healthy people, their liver is probably detoxing just fine. So that's the video for the coffee enemas. But yeah, definitely some potential benefit. The urine, probably a little bit less. So we're going on to millet. And millet, of course, is one of those pseudo grains, along with buckwheat, amaranth, quinoa, which if you watch my 7-day carb test video, the behind the scenes, and then I posted the full video in my best self. And honestly, not a huge fan in terms of the pseudo grains, in the sense that if it looks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it's probably a duck. But that being said, if you are somebody that tolerates it well, then I don't see a problem with including it every so often. It's kind of like white rice. It's kind of like white rice. It's kind of like the quinoa. If you enjoy it, I don't know why you would, but if you enjoy it, go right ahead. Buckwheat, same kind of thing. So, yeah. Okay, hold on. Maddie's saying that it doesn't work. Go to my YouTube channel. Oh, wait, no. I don't know. Sorry, give me a second. Maddie's trying to make her way on. So, wait, yeah. So, Sean, I know, and Jody, both of you, I know I messaged it to you guys on Facebook, through Messenger. Did you have a problem getting on through the link? Hold on. Let me see what I can do here. Try and get Maddie on. She's being a pain in our butt. Here, you know what? Copy link. This will, ACT, you're killing me, man. This will literally be like 4th video in a row, 4th live stream. Yeah, that's what Maddie's saying. It was unavailable. So I'm just gonna message her the link. I'm gonna text it to her. This is the 4th one. I'm gonna have to talk about what the health. Oh boy. So short version on that, super short version, because we're going here. But Yeah, YouTube sent the alert. Awesome. So that, you know what that means, Jody? That means that Maddie is not a subscriber on YouTube. I'm gonna have to yell at her about that. I appreciate that, guys. Appreciate that you have the bell. Yeah, you guys tagged the bell. Thank you all so much. So regarding what the health, I'll give you the short version. So basically, I've talked about why veganism is not the best way for health reasons, B12 deficiencies, poor conversion of the omega 3s, non-heme iron being the primary source, the difficulty of getting adequate protein intake. It's all common issues. So, with all of that being said, the health aspect, not the best. Then we're going to go to the moral argument, which is that what about the animals? And the moral argument on that is essentially that animals need to have their life. And when most people are going towards a vegan diet, they're generally going to be consuming more grains and legumes. And unfortunately, if we're talking about the industrial agricultural process there, one, it degrades the soil because they're not rotating the crops. So it's the same crops over and over and over again, utilizing the same nutrients. It leads to soil depletion of nutrients. No good. From there, if it's not a local small farm, it's an industrial process. So they're using machines that are going to result in the deaths of thousands to millions, if we're talking about the wide scale, of animals anyway. Yeah, not many people care about the insects, but what about the rabbits, the mice, all the other little field animals that are in that crop, in that field where those crops are being grown? Do you think a combine that goes and harvests it, a harvester is going to care? No, it runs right over it. So there is a lot of blood on that. Now, unfortunately, that's the nature of life. That unfortunately, for something to live, something else must die. That brings us to the ethical argument, which sounds very similar to the moral argument, but the difference there is that why do you have to be the one that's doing it? So that gets us into that. And so, but the video I did specifically about that was, should it be an ethical omnivore? Because that's one of the few places where they actually do win. There's also the environmental aspect. I didn't cover that. The environmental aspect is essentially that cow farts are causing climate change, and part of that has to do with their diet. When they are consuming grains, they are going to be producing more methane, but the contribution thereof of methane to the environment and to the greenhouse gas crisis is so unbelievably low. Two, the water issue, funny enough, is a primary concern for a lot of people. Cow farts, not darts. That'd be a weird thing. So the contribution A is not a major amount. Then they move into cow burps, and that's whatever. Same crap, not a big deal. So part of it has to do with, again, when cows are actually allowed to graze properly over grassland, the trampling down actually prepares the grass for carbon dioxide consuming, or methane, rather, not carbon dioxide, methanotrophs, so methane consuming bacteria. It actually helps for them to proliferate better. And there is some decent research on that. So by pasture grazing animals, allowing them to actually go on and eat the grass they're supposed to, it ends up fixing the carbon back into the ground. So you're able to utilize that again later. So it's an incredible process, but definitely a good idea. So that has to do with holistic management of farms, and that would be Alan Savory, or you also look into Polyface Farms, which is Joel Salatin, amazing guy, met him in real life, awesome, doing the right thing. So that's on the ethical end as well. That brings us all back together. So the ethical combines both the animal welfare and the environment, and essentially, with that, we should care about how the animal lives, not only for us, not only for them, not only for the environment, but all of that combined. If we want to have a better world, a better health, and to have better quality for those animals, to not treat them like garbage, then yeah, that's the way you do it. Okay, going specifically on that the vegan end is not going to save the world. It's not. I wish it could. That'd be great. We don't have to kill animals. We're not vegetarian by nature. So regarding what the health, and part of that comes back to like the whole saturated fat thing. I have a whole playlist of videos on that. That's a whole other animal. No pun intended. So essentially, when it came to what the health, I was going to do a bit by bit breakdown, similar to what I did to Bill Nye, but excuse me. So I was going to do something similar to that, but then I went and saw that Rob Wolf had already done that. So if you go to my ethical omnivore video, I put a link to Rob Wolf's his article on that in the description there. And excuse me, regarding the ethical omnivore video, you read the Rob's art thing. He literally broke it down by timestamps, who the person talking is, what their affiliations are, what their dietary habits are, and then why it's either wrong or right. So what is right about it? And it is a monster of an article. And then last week in the live stream, what I talked about was basically, you watched the replay in my channel. Essentially, if you don't want to buy into the the animal parts, if you come from a vegetarian vegan bent and you just absolutely will not hear something coming from somebody who comes from an ancestral perspective, then, and that's for the ethical omnivore, then there was actually an article in vegan.com, and in that article, it was a vegan dietitian, and she actually tore apart what the health for similar reasons, but hers more had to do with animal welfare, and she was back on that end. I would disagree with a lot of her on that end, and I would be happy to debate her on that. But, to actually dig into that real deep, I kind of gave you a super superficial thoughts on my thoughts on that. But I would debate her on that. But for my purposes here is that for her to basically show why that documentary is nonsense, it's not just propaganda coming from our side. It's not just propaganda coming from the paleo community, from the primal community, from the Weston A. Price. It's just not a good movie. The science is superficial. A lot of it's epidemiological, which is not the best thing overall. It gives us hypotheses, but it doesn't give us conclusions. So, whatever. And so yeah, no reason to apologize. So yeah, not a fan. Okay, so Shauna, going back to that, taking collagen-rich powders and supplements sourced from grass-fed cows, fish, chicken. What are your thoughts on this? My thoughts on that, or I told you this last week, that you totally should be doing that. Yes, 100%, big fan, definitely a fan of collagen and gelatin. So I told you specifically gelatin, maybe that's what that is. But yes, so if we were to think of gelatin being milk, collagen might be whey protein. So collagen is a component of gelatin. Gelatin is incredible. Definitely do it. Cow darts, definitely very scarring. Very dangerous and scarring. Yeah, Rich, definitely some amazing farming technology out there. Definitely, and the techniques. It's okay. You don't have to worry about it. It's cool. So yeah, keep putting those questions in there. You have some awesome ones so far. And then, what else we got? I know I have saved right here. And actually, you know what? Since we're only half an hour in, I know I normally have a late turnout. I'm going to send this to Kim. Now, Kim is my admin on Paleo Primal Long Island. Oh, shit, wrong link. Oops. Wrong links. Hold on. So, yeah, if you joined late, you may have heard that I'm taking a temporary self-imposed hiatus from Facebook. And so that's why we're doing the live stream here. Wait, is my lip up there? Okay, no, it's good. I thought it looked a little squirrely in the thumbnail that it sent. Bear with me for one more second. All right. So regarding that, self-imposed, I'm gonna have Kim try and post that on there. So you said, who is now Dr. Jim Stopani's line training supplements? Great question. Do me a favor, Rich. Send me a link to that. I have it up here on my phone. I can click on that. I can pull it up. So if you give me a link, I'll take a look at it real quick. Honestly, I'm not familiar with his purpose. Familiar? Yeah. So send me that link, and I will take a look and see what I think. Like real quick. So as we're building off, what else we have? All right. This is a fun one. Apparently last week, and I think I might turn this into a full video, so just side note, I haven't been doing the daily videos recently because my semester has really been kicking my butt. I end this current semester on Sunday. I don't know how much of a break I have And those who don't know, I mean, all of you do probably, but working on my doctorate, all that fun stuff. Anyway, whatever. This particular semester ends on Sunday. I don't know how much of a break I have after that, but after the semester ends, I plan on going back to the daily format at least most of the week. That being said, the next question, apparently, an article recently about cannabis consumption and hypertension, and basically saying that those who consume cannabis will end up having higher blood pressure, and that it could potentially lead to some issues down the road. Now, what's interesting about that, a couple of things. One, that it didn't lead to increased rates of cerebrovascular disease or just heart disease in general, cardiovascular disease. So with that, that begins to a little squirrely neighborhood because mortality didn't increase in the heart disease realm, so the cardiovascular issues. Yet, it's being said, like, oh no, it's going to cause death from hypertension. It's pretty tough to die from hypertension overall if you don't have some other issue going on, but whatever. That being said, moving past that, there's other research that seems to indicate that after cessation, after being a pothead for a long time, being a major stoner, then cessation actually leads to increases in blood pressure. So there may be a normalization of blood pressure throughout the course of their overuse of cannabis. So it's an interesting study. There's definitely some debate to be had on either side. My biggest issues with the primary study is they went and took observational data from one aspect. So they took observational data from users, people who have previously used, and they didn't even distinguish between consumption rates. Well, they did, but they didn't consume. They didn't distinguish between length of consumption in terms of how long people had been doing it. It was more moderate, regular, whatever. And then, so these thoughts were clear in my head before I started talking. My bad. So, essentially, they found that those who had never consumed cannabis in their life had lower blood pressure than those who had at some point thereof. And epidemiological research can definitely, contact high from talking about you got it. Epidemiological research, like we said before, is great for formulating hypotheses. It's not great for coming to conclusions. So, like definitive conclusions. Correlation does not equal causation, that whole thing. But that being said, in order to have a causation, you need to have a correlation. So it does help to point it into a direction. Is it not letting you put a comment? Is it not letting you turn that into a link? Oh, you know what? Yeah, you might not be able to put a link in as a... You might not be able to do that as a commenter. Huh, interesting. Yeah, so you know what? Let me take a look. So JYM supplements, got it. I'll pull that up. Perfect, I got it. Okay, so while I'm pulling that up, just the long and the short of it is, mechanistically, it doesn't really make sense for cannabis to go and increase your blood pressure, unless we're talking specifically about, smoking it, in which case, yeah, sure, maybe, a little bit. All of that being said, I wouldn't be concerned either way about it long term. Generally speaking, particularly like anxiety reduction, whatever. If that's your gig, don't worry about it. You should be fine. The benefits generally vastly outweigh the detriments, and that's coming from somebody who doesn't particularly imbibe often. Still a big fan of CBD though. All right, let's see. All right. Okay, looking right at this right now, I have here his science pre, and his cherry limeade, and looking right at the ingredients, the actual primary ingredients I like. Carnosine, beta-alanine's good, creatine's obviously good. We have N-acetylcysteine, we have taurine, phosphorylcholine, citrulline malate, leucine, isoleucine, valine, huperzine A. Now, big fan of huperzine A. For those who don't know, it is a nootropic, meaning that it goes and can help with learning new things. It's basically a smart drug, but so a nootropic generally refers to more on the herbal and non-pharmaceutical end. It can technically, and then smart drugs are generally referring to the pharmaceutical end. Now, they help with a number of different things. It could be cognitive benefit in general. It could be reduction of brain fog. It could lead to reduction of neurodegeneration. So we're talking about things like Alzheimer's, dementia, Parkinson's, MS, etc. Now, huperzine A, though, is interesting because it actually can help to induce lucid dreaming, and it can help with memory retention. So I was actually using it at one point. There's a product called Pimsleur's, and it's a language learning software. And I would take huperzine A, and I put it into I would take huperzine A, and I would take the Pimsleur's. I put an iPod on, and I put the headphones in, and I would go to sleep and listen to it while I was sleeping. And I'm like, I would have conversations listening to it. Yeah, it basically it opens your unconscious while you're sleeping, and it allows you to retain more and interact almost with the world while you're sleeping. It's a really squirrely thing. But it's also in, Alpha Brain? Yeah, on its thing, Alpha Brain has huperzine A in it. So a lot of these nootropics are including it in it because, yeah, it does seem to work. But I remember using that with the Pimsleur's, and I would actually be able to have conversations with people in my mind from having, like, I'd be at the place where I thought I was. I know it sounds like I was on mushrooms, but I was sleeping, so it was a dream state, and I was able to help control it. So lucid dreaming, I was able to redirect where it was going. I was having these conversations with these people, and it's one of those where I haven't done that as much. I haven't been focusing on languages as much as I used to. I have always had a lifelong goal of being like a polyglot, someone that can speak fluently in countless languages, and as it stands right now, I've played around with 12 different languages at some point in my life. I've only gotten fluent in like 3. And at this point, I'm fluent in English, and that's debatable. But I still can fluently understand Spanish for the most part. I was also partially, at least strongly conversational in Italian. I was able to converse relatively well at some point or another, French, Dutch, Hebrew, Turkish, Japanese, Mandarin Chinese, German. Yeah, that sounds about right. I think that's the extent of the language I've played around with, like, a decent amount. And Pimsleur's was part of it, but the huperzine A definitely helped to expedite that process. Now, having gone on that long side tangent, like I never do, where we get into a problem with the JYM supplements in particular, I'm looking at the other ingredients, and so we're looking at here, the biggest problem I'm seeing is the inclusion of the sucralose, the asulfame potassium, and the artificial colors. So it's the artificial sweeteners we mentioned before, as well as the artificial food colorings. Generally not a good thing. Both of those can independently throw off your gut bacteria. So that would be my biggest problem with it. Other than that, the actual ingredients themselves look pretty solid. But I'm never a fan of products that include artificial sweeteners and food colorings. Oh, what the heck happened to my computer? Apparently that crashed. Yeah, I'll pull you up on Amazon one of the ones that I really like. Hold on. Huperzine A. Let's see what we got here. Yep. Yeah, bulk supplements is generally a good bet. And I've also played. So the one that I was taking, I had gotten originally from Source Naturals over at Vitamin Shop, and it's a good one. But in terms of, let's see, if you wanted to get, whoa, that is a whole bunch of it. That is expensive. Not that one. That is a bulk bag of Huperzine A for $135. That is a crap ton of Huperzine A. Not that one. This is probably. Oh, look at that. Wow, it actually shows the last time I bought it. 2010, 7 on Christmas. Why the hell did I buy it on Christmas? Oh, I know. Wow. Okay, so I bought it at Vitamin Shop every time thereafter, but I actually bought it on Amazon on Christmas Day because I remember I was reading the 4 Hour Body by Tim Ferriss, and that's what originally introduced me to Huperzine A. And I was reading that book, and it was talking about that, and I was like, whoa, lucid dreams, learn faster. So yeah, so it was 7 years ago, and I was reading that book, and that's what actually convinced me to start playing around with that. So, okay. Cracking me up. Light bulb! Yeah. Come on, that's my general shtick, right? So apparently YouTube doesn't want to let me get in on this bad boy through my laptop. But I'm going to go in back door with this one here. Hold on. That didn't sound right. I'm going to go in the back door. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Hold on. We have KRZ1Y _2H27M. Gotta watch out for going in that back door. You never, maybe it could be a good time. I don't know. But let's be very clear. There we go. You don't pair the back door with the urophagia. So don't go urinating and then back door. It's a bad thing. You never go ass to mouth. That would be the link to Huperzine A, and that's the exact one that I bought back in December on Christmas of 2010. That's the last time I bought that one. Yeah, I'm glad I was able to ruin all your nights there with that one. Yeah. Oh, cool. It actually already even has in the description also be sure to check us out at. Nice. It's good times. I'm actually really liking this YouTube setup here. It's not too bad. Not too bad at all. Now you're definitely going to watch Dead Close 2 later? Awesome. I'm glad that I can inspire you there. Ooh, I can even change my filters. Look at that, just like the other one. Yeah. So, taking it back. So, going back to being moderately serious, which who the hell even knows what that is? Rich, going back to your question there, not the biggest fan of that particular one simply because of the added ingredients. The actual ingredient profile looks awesome. The specifics of the Huperzine A, I posted to you there. I posted the link to the one that I've used. And actually, yeah, it even says it there. So the extract from club moss is a potent brain booster that can promote better focus, enhanced memory, and elevated mood. It helps to maintain higher levels of acetylcholine, which is important for brain function and muscle function, and all of that is, in fact, accurate. So, big fan of that. Live control room. What the hell is that? Stream status. Good. 780p. Wow. That's right. Front-facing camera on iPad. Makes sense. Okay. Cool. I can actually... Ooh, I can actually... This is fancy. I am super pumped right now. This is really fancy. I get to see what kind of things we have going on here. Ooh. Yeah, accuracy is always a good thing, without a doubt. So, yeah. We have any other questions, guys? Because right now I have a number of... so you guys have had some awesome questions. And regarding the ones I had pre-planned ahead of time, I basically cut through all of those. And I think we covered most of the questions we had tonight from the live stream itself. So far, I'm kind of enjoying this whole the whole YouTube model. It's definitely working out pretty well. I'm getting some pretty cool analytics that we're looking at right now. I can really see how everybody's doing, and yeah. Oh, dragon fruit question. Sorry about that. Yes, eating the dragon fruit and the peel. That's a great question. And in terms of specific benefits specific to dragon fruit, I'm going to be honest, I don't have specifics in terms of the compounds that are in that. However, that can be a good one to add to the list to dive a little bit deeper into. Honestly, if off the top of my head, if I had to venture a guess, I'd probably place it along some of the other more exotic South American fruits. Or I'm assuming dragon fruits South American. I don't know. Correct me on that if I'm wrong. But regarding its benefits, probably pretty similar to the other ones like the acais and moringa. Is moringa one of those as well? I don't know. I'll look into it more. I got nothing on it for that one for you right now. Sorry. In terms of the actual content of what vitamin mineral breakdown, what other phytonutrients it has, not particularly sure. But I'm adding that to my list of topics to cover at some point. Alrighty. Other than that, though, I think we're wrapping it up. I think that's basically where we're at. If you have any more questions, put them on down. I appear to actually get the questions faster through the YouTube app than I did through Facebook. So there's definitely a better system overall. It looks like. Even tells me if there was any errors, failed to connect. Has everyone seen my topic on should you eat your own boogers? Check it out. Yes, I have done that once. I've done some pretty squirrely ones. Coffee enemas, eating your boogers. Now we've talked about drinking your own urine. And I know I made this comment with Jody the other day. Funny enough, some of my best viewed videos are right now. The number one video is horny goat weed. Whether you should be supplementing with horny goat weed. Number 3, I believe, was tiger nuts. Should you be eating tiger nuts? And then number 4 was, what can we do about latex fruit syndrome? None of which have anything to... Well, horny goat weed is a aphrodisiac, theoretically, but none of which overall have anything to do with sex. But because those are sex-themed, sort of, in their titles, those are my best viewed videos. Whatever. it's ridiculous, but oh boy, couple that stays together, so that's a quality wife right there. Rich, you're a lucky man. Kim, what's up? I see you joined the party. So apparently that's what I have to do. Screw all the actual just general health videos. What I need to start doing is more clickbaity sex health themed videos, and that's the trick. That's what I'm gonna have to do from now on. Screw it. Oh boy. It's true. Some women do pay for that. I don't know why they would. I feel like mansplaining is pretty freely available. Let's leave it at that. Oh boy. Yeah, super healthy, all that fun stuff. Oh man. Wow, I can really play around with this nonsense. Back to the live control room. Cool. Alright. So right now we're closing at like 50 minutes right now. So what else we got, guys? Guarantee people are going to Google it now. Yeah, I don't doubt that for a second. What I should do is make sure to put that into the tags on my meta tags for this video. That way when people search it, now they're going to go and come back to the video, even though they made 45 minutes into this particular video, in which case they would have found it already anyway. Might be an idea anyway. I'll keep that in mind. Oh boy. Slate in? The heck is that? Slate in insertion. Huh. Interesting. Ads insertion. I'm not monetized or whatever. Broadcast alert. Cancel the ventilator. Alright. Anyway, sorry, just playing around with this YouTube. My first time. Like I said, we talked about this already. A little bit of a hiatus on Facebook, so right now it's first time playing around with this. I seem to like it. What do you guys think? Like it at all? Hate it? I mean, you guys have stayed this long, so obviously the people that are here liked it. My biggest problem is going to be communicating more towards people that aren't currently subscribed and otherwise. It shut me off? Really? I'm still So no, I mean, you guys, I still Rich is still here, obviously, and then I see Shoshana said that it cut me off. I don't see it as cut off. I'm currently broadcasting from my iPad, and I'm looking at my phone at my laptop, which I was gonna. So side note on that, while I'm looking into this, huh? Yeah, what the heck? Can you hear me at least? Yeah, what the heck is going on? Okay, all right, hold on. Slate off. All right, are you got? Oh shit! All right, are you got? Oh shit! All right, are you got? As I'm playing myself in loop right now. All right. So apparently, when I clicked that one button, no, I went and clicked the button. And apparently, I screwed up. So, like I said, playing around with the stupid Facebook, the stupid YouTube. Free play wants to see live, so playing at live points. So apparently, I was clicking that thing in, and it went cut me off. My bad. My bad. That's what I get for playing around with the YouTube buttons and messing around with it too much, trying to figure out how this thing works. So probably should have figured that out, before 50 minutes into a live stream, but I feel like it went pretty well overall. Notice you can use gaming mode for a darker screen. That's helpful. Yeah, I saw something about that. It mentioned something about gaming mode. Let's see. Preview stream. Yeah, I saw something about that. A view watch page. Switch to night mode in YouTube gaming. Interesting. Yeah. Interesting. As we're getting that sick beat going again, right, Rich? Keeping that going. You have to rap over that. All right. At this point, we're just getting into really squirrely territory in terms of me just rambling and playing around with YouTube. What kind of questions? Any other last questions before we close it out? People messing me here. Oh man. Is time up? YouTube lives only from now on. That's how you make money. Yep. So, yeah, guys. Oh, you got one. Awesome. I was reading your message on Facebook, actually, funny enough. But yes, let's hear the question. We'll close it out. You always get the good ones. All right, what do you got? The suspense is killing me. Excuse me. All right. I'm going to figure out what the hell this slate's insertion is while I think it might be I could have, put a picture in or something or whatever. While I'm waiting for you to ask a question there. Insertion, YouTube. For an advertisement. So that is a good question there. I heard that men who ejaculate more often are more likely to get prostate cancer, or men who don't are not so. Okay, go ahead. Do not so. So basically, what you're saying is that those who don't ejaculate as much are more likely to get prostate cancer. True or false? And off the top of my head, I know I've come across that story. If I had to venture a guess, I'd probably lean towards probably not. I'd have to look into it. Right. They say the same thing with breast cancer, yes. In the sense that it has to do with testosterone and, in women's case, estrogen and the amount of that's getting released over time. I'd have to look more into it, honestly. I mean, I don't really think most people are going to control how much they ejaculate based on future of prostate cancer. Honestly, if that's going to give me more of a risk of prostate cancer down the line, fuck it. Bring it on. Bring on the prostate cancer. It is what it is. Oh, man. What, you try to say that I don't smile? Come on now. Well, you know what it is. So I've been tried for so hard for so long to be kid friendly, and I try not to curse and things on my videos, and particularly when I was still monetized, that was definitely something I wanted to not do. I'm not right now, so screw it. And most of the kids that are gonna watch this, you know, A, they're not gonna make it this far into the video, and B, if they did, they probably heard it before. Whatever. Sorry, guys. Don't curse. Bad. Don't do it. But the fact the content of the rest of this video is kind of, well, beyond the nature of whether or not it's a problem to be cursing. Right. I already told people about drinking pee and all the other fun things we've talked about tonight. So, yeah, about that. Yeah. Yeah, no, honestly, I don't know the direct answer to that. I could look into it deeper. That's probably a good video, too. Probably a fun one. It is your fault, Jody, about the urine therapy, because I called you on that before, too. And you know what, though? It was a great topic. I loved it. It was good. It definitely led the stream downstream. It was a very free-flowing stream. Yeah. I think that's a good place to end it. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. You guys were troopers. Jody, Shoshana, Rich. You guys were on the whole time. Like, you guys are nuts. So, I appreciate it. But you guys made it awesome. Hopefully, we can get some more people on next week when by the time I start to figure out how to really dial this in. But, yeah, guys. Obviously, you guys are subscribed. Anybody that's watching this on a replay, don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell to get the notifications to make sure that you will know when I'm going live or when I put videos out. But truly appreciate everything, all love and support, and see you right now. Next one. I'll see you in the next one. Leave it at that. So you're saying see you tomorrow. I'll see you in the next one. And yes, we definitely got to get together, brother. Like I said, my semester ends right now, so we'll talk about it later. I'll see you in the next one.